Welcome back to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. Time to take things home, but Adam Carriker having a little bit of trouble with his microphone, but fear not, we've got him on the line. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to wrap up the show debating the top 5 young quarterbacks in the National Football League? Now, what defines a young quarterback? For the sake of this argument, it's a player who has no more than 3 seasons of experience, meaning you could be headed into your 4th season, but if you're headed into your 5th, no good. Adam, are you ready?
I am ready to go. Just so you know, all of my guys have played 2 years or less, so they're even younger than your guys.
Oh, is that? Well, you don't know who I've selected. I could be in the 2 and under club.
I tried to make it 2 years or less. You wanted it 3 years or less, so I'm assuming you've got a guy that's going into his 4th season.
You assume, or I could have been throwing you a curveball, but we won't know until we unveil. So with that, and you being who you are, we're going to start with you. Give me your number 5 young quarterback in the National Football League.
My number 5 young quarterback has been forgotten about, I think, a lot this season. He took a lot of heat this year. The guy had a great rookie year. He set rookie passing records in his first 2 games, over 400, 420, 30 yards his first 2 games out the gate. And I think this year people were expecting him to even, do better than that, which I don't know what you expect, 500 yards passing a game. My number 5 guy is Cam Newton. But I believe this guy, the sky is the future for this guy.
You know what? At my number 5 spot, I also have Cam Newton there. I figured if we were having this debate 1 year ago, he certainly would have been a lot higher up on this list. But in comes this incredible, rookie draft class, and it kind of pushed him way down. Plus the fact that he wasn't able to produce a really outstanding encore in his sophomore season. Nonetheless, he still has all the potential in the world, so he's in my number 5 spot. Now let me go ahead and I will take the top off of the number 4 slot here, and with that, I'm putting in Andrew Luck. To me, although, yes, he had a great season. Although, yes, he took a franchise that was in the dumps a year before. It only won a couple of teams. And, oh, by the way, you throw in the drama with Chuck Pagano. He goes out there and he still quarterbacks this team into the playoffs. Phenomenal season. You can't take that away from him. But to me, he's still number 4 on the list because the number 3, the top 3 on my list, still better statistically than this guy.
I don't know who your top 3 are, but the guy threw for over 4,300 yards at 23 touchdowns, and he had 18 interceptions. But the guy threw the ball. He threw it more than any other rookie quarterback in my top 5, anyways. Excuse me, got a little gas bubble. And the guy led his team to multiple fourth-quarter comebacks, and nobody expected anything out of this team. He's higher on my list, is all I'm saying. My number 4 is Colin Kaepernick, and I had him higher originally. The only reason I dropped him is he's only started 10 games in his NFL career. So I want to see a bigger body of work. I mean, he hasn't even started a whole NFL season. The guy obviously has a rocker for an arm, through a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. In high school, he can run a 4.5 40. He's shown what he can do, but I only put him at number 4 just because everyone ahead of him has started a whole season and he had not.
Give me your number 3 quarterback.
Once I got into the top 3, it was kind of hard, to decipher, because these 3 guys are all rookies, all had great years. They all could have won Rookie of the Year. Number 3 is Russell Wilson, who took his team within 1 point of the NFC Championship game. The guy was a 4th-round draft pick. Nobody really expected anything out of him. He overtook Matt Flynn in training camp to win the job, and he turned out had a great year with 3,000 yards passing, exactly 100 quarterback rating, 26 touchdowns. And the guy can obviously run. He gives you that threat at the quarterback with his legs. He's a solid number 3 for me. He easily could have been higher.
I see what you're saying there, and Adam, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to ask for you to take a deep breath, because what I'm about to say to you is going to sting, okay? Are you sitting down? Are you ready for this?
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, and this is why nobody likes you.
My number 3 pick here in the 3rd spot in my top 5 young quarterbacks, Robert Griffin III.
This is why nobody likes you.
Everybody loves Chuck Carroll. Follow me on Twitter at @TheChuckCarroll. Even if it's just to talk smack to me, I want some followers. But here's why I've got RG3 at number 3. It's because this guy is a big-time injury liability, Adam. He does not have the size to be an elite quarterback in the National Football League. He's built like Michael Vick, and Michael Vick has all the promise in the world, may or may not wind up in the Hall of Fame, but his inability to stay healthy has hampered him throughout his career, and frankly, Robert Griffin III faces the same fate. You cannot take away what he did quarterbacking the Redskins to that 7-game winning streak and into the playoffs, capturing that NFC title for the first time since 1999. But then you take a look at the knee injury, and that's just going to mar his entire rookie campaign. For injury and injury alone, he's in my 3 spot. Who do you have?
Well, all right, obviously I don't agree with that. The more and more you talk, I think the more and more you lose followers on Twitter, by the way. But my number 2 is Andrew Luck. I don't know that he made people forget about Peyton Manning. He has not done that. But he has shown that the future is bright in Indianapolis. And to me, he easily could have won Rookie of the Year. My number 1 guy is Robert Griffin III, and the guy I think should have won it, the guy who did win it. And I understand what you're saying about the injuries. But here's the thing. I know Robert. He's a hard worker. He's going to come back. He's going to be better than ever. And I think a lot of what he learned this rookie year is he learned how to get out of bounds. He's learned how to slide. And I think that's really going to benefit him in the future. And he's going to stay healthy because when he's healthy, I mean, the guy only had 5 interceptions this year. He turned the ball over as a rookie the least amount of any quarterback in the NFL. That includes Brady, Manning, Rodgers, Breeze, all those guys. He protected the ball better than they did. Had a 102.4 quarterback rating, 20 touchdowns, runs a 4.3 40. To me, it's physical. Yes, he can throw the deep ball, the short game, he can run. And I think now that he's learned to protect himself, I mean, I think this guy could easily be a top 5 quarterback, if not one of the best quarterbacks in the league in the very near future.
All right, well, you can throw statistics at me all day, but what I want to go back to what you said. You said that you think that Robert has learned how to get out of bounds or get down. And when he won that Offensive Rookie in the Year award, the night before the Super Bowl, he came out and he said, next year, you're not going to see the same Robert Griffin III. You're going to see a better RG3. And does that mean that he actually is going to make a real concerted effort to get out of bounds, to get down, to protect himself, to stay healthy so he can lead this team? Because Lord knows the Redskins are a much better team when he's under center.
That is very likely what he could have meant. He could have meant a multitude of things. I mean, from the rookie year to the second season, you're used to what goes on in the NFL. You know how practice works. You're accustomed to watching film the NFL way. You're used to your offense. You don't have to learn it. It's not brand new. You know what your surroundings are, and you're used to it. You don't have to make these huge adjustments. There's not this huge learning curve. So I think he's going to be a lot better just from that standpoint. And then also, there's no doubt early on in the year, he was taking a lot of hits. And I think he learned throughout the year to avoid these hits. And I think that could be another thing he's alluding to, because if this guy is healthy, like I say about guys that I think are extremely talented, the sky is absolutely the limit for Robert.
And just to kind of round out my top 5, we kind of jumped all over the place. At number 2 for me, Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson, phenomenal talent. And then at my number 1 spot, Colin Kaepernick. So that's my top 5.
Hold on, real quickly. We've only got 2 minutes left. We were going to get into Manti, but we'll get into Manti next week. I got a quick question. How can you put him number 1 as uber talented as he is? How can you put him number 1 having only started 10 games this year?
Because of what the body of work, albeit a abbreviated one, what he was able to accomplish in those 10 games was better than anybody else on that list. Nobody else in that top 5, nobody else in my top 5, nobody else in your top 5 came anywhere close to reaching the Super Bowl. Colin Kaepernick took this team, the San Francisco 49ers, to the Super Bowl, was able to unseat Alex Smith. And there was a lot of controversy when Alex Smith was benched in favor of this Kaepernick kid. Nobody knew what to make of it. And then everybody ragged on him for his tattoos. And he said, no. Judge me for my performance on the field. And what does he do? He goes out there, he captures the NFC Championship for the 49ers. And headed into next season, you better believe that they are among the favorites to win the Super Bowl.
What I look at is what was expected of the Colts and what Andrew Luck did with the Colts. What I look at is the Redskins haven't been to the playoffs in 5 years, hadn't won an NFC East Division title since '98, and look at what Robert did in his first year. A lot of what you're saying about Colin, obviously he's a huge part of that, but that could already be determined by the team around him. A lot of these other guys took teams that hadn't been successful for a while and made them successful. To me, that's more impressive because that's more about them than the team surrounding him. Not saying that the guys surrounding Robert Griffin aren't good, because I'm one of those guys, and trust me, we can ball.
Okay.
I'm just saying the expectations weren't there. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but my question to you then, are you saying that the 49ers would have gone that deep in the playoffs with Alex Smith as their quarterback? That's the question.
That is a good question. And here's what I'm saying, not taking anything away from Colin Kaepernick. I mean, as far as talent, he's as talented as anybody on here. I only had him at 4 just because he'd only started 10 games, plain and simple. If he had started 16 and done the same thing, he'd have been higher. To me, it's impressive what he did, but Alex Smith would have done the same thing a year ago. I forget the individual's name, but he fumbled 2 punt returns. Had he not done that, the Giants would have been in the Super Bowl a year ago with Alex Smith.
All right. Well, with that, we're fresh out of time. Tweet us at 4th and Pain with your picks for the top 5. Many thanks to D'Lo Brown for joining us. Adam, many thanks to Angie, your lovely wife, again, for joining us at The Pulse. Tweet us at 4th and Pain. And with that, I'm Chuck Carroll. Thank you so very much for believing in our weirdness.
I'm Adam Carriker. Got the largest arms on the D-line. Peace out, 4th and Painter.
On the warpath.